Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM, the Wake Up Guyana Show.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
January 4th, 2021. A happy New Year's to you. I am Kevin Smith, and these are the top stories we're tracking. Vice President Jagdeo says government to make local content reports public. AG recommends police probe and charges for over $170 million spent on lawyers, but APNU AFC government. Meanwhile, Jagdeo's revelations on depletion policy unbelievable and troubling, says Ram, and 2 dead, a 3rd hospitalized after Curviton smash-up, and underage girl abandons baby after giving birth. Visitors rescue crying child an hour later. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Digicel Prime Bundles just got better with 3 new apps. Watch more with Playglow. Share more with Sportsmax. Read more news with Loop. Listen more with D-Music. Plus extra data. It's simply more bundled together. 51 gigabytes for 7 days for only $2,000. Live the experience with Digicel. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
Now for the news in detail, Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo said that during the process of broad national consultation to be had for Guyana's local content policy and legislation, the government is set to publish the local content reports prepared by the Local Content Advisory Panel. The panel members were expected to review all existing initiatives and policies where local content is concerned and guide the development of a new policy and legislation. They were also required to conduct consultations with key interest groups and stakeholders, including the private sector, government, and civil society. Meanwhile, Auditor General Durat Sharma has recommended a police probe and charges where necessary for breach of the procurement procedures by officers attached to the Attorney General's chambers for over $170 million in retainer or legal fee agreements signed under the previous APNU AFC government. The recommendations follow a special audit of the retainer agreements, which was requested by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal. Now let's tell you unbelievable and troubling. That is how Chartered Accountant and Attorney at Law Christopher Ram has chosen to describe the recent announcement by Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo of Guyana's depletion policy for petroleum extraction in the millions and millions of acres being operated by Exxon's offshore subsidiary in the Stabroek Block. According to Ram, the policy announced by Mr. Jagdeo amounts to no policy, just explore and extract as much as possible within the shortest possible time. He is of the view that this announcement, which was made during a radio interview, outside of a mere formal announcement, which such an issue warrants, must be music to the ears of ExxonMobil, which sees Guyana as its redeeming cash cow. And now let's tell you 2 persons are now dead following a smash-up on the Line Path Public Road, Curviton, Berbice, while a 3rd person is nursing injuries. Dead is 26-year-old Nimrod Prasad, a hire car driver, and Thurman Magnot, 36 years old, of Line Path Upper Quarantine. The injured person has been identified as a 38-year-old Sheikh Mahmood, a businessman of number 76 village. Reports are that just around 18 hours, Magnot was heading north on the western lane in his motor car with Prasad and a passenger, while Mahmood was heading in the opposite direction in his car. And more troubling news, an underage girl who is believed to be 14 or 15 years old reportedly abandoned her baby after giving birth on New Year's Day at a sawmill located at Kwabana village in Maruka, Region 1. About an hour later, we were told a group of visitors to the village heard the newborn's cries and rescued the infant. According to Kwabana's Tushao Tospierre, the baby was found abandoned around 10 hours on New Year's morning. He said some visitors from a nearby village had docked their boat at a landing located just where the sawmill was. It is now 12 hours 6. Coming up after the break, audit report says Public Infrastructure Ministry overpaid millions for asphalt due to poor record keeping. Teacher's apartment broken into twice in 3 months. Ministry is to refund losses by tomorrow. And AG report says no residency records for Region 4 government living quarters. Stay tuned.
A lot has happened since oil was discovered in 2015. The petroleum industry is an ever-changing web of oil, gas, politics, and money. It gets complicated sometimes, but we can bring you all the latest developments and include you in the discussions here on Kaieteur Radio. So tune in to 99.1 or 99.5 FM every Tuesday night at 20 hours for Petroleum 101 with me, your host, Kamal King. Kaieteur Radio, the radio with a difference.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. A lack of proper internal controls within the then Public Infrastructure Ministry resulted in millions being overpaid to the state-run Garden of Eden asphalt plant. Findings from the special audit conducted at the facility following allegations of an ongoing racket there revealed that the Public Infrastructure Ministry, under the purview of the then Minister David Patterson, purchased asphalt through a prepayment system arrangement. The report stated that the sums of $305,170,110 and $526,180,840 were paid for 2018 and 2019, respectively. In other news, 2 teachers who work in Port Kaituma Region 1 are now counting their losses for the second time after the apartment they stay in was broken into while they were away during the Christmas holiday. After one of the teachers made a Facebook post about the incident, the respective ministers and officials have since made direct contact with the teachers and assured them that their losses will be refunded by Tuesday and that measures will be put in place to better secure the building. The teachers, Leon Bailey Beaton and Lochani Danraj, said that their losses from the most recent incident totaled $200,000. And moving on, for the occupation of government quarters, public servants are required to pay rent of 10% and 12% of their salary for unfurnished and furnished accommodation, respectively, except where entitlement to rent-free government quarters had been previously approved as a condition of service. However, the Auditor General Report 2019 stipulated that despite the regional administration in Region 4 owning and controlling several government quarters, neither records nor documentation was submitted for audit examination pertaining to the year 2019. The audit report explained that staff members occupying living quarters are entitled to rent-free quarters in their official residence is outside of Region 4. It is now 12 hours 10, time for your COVID-19 update. The number of cases in Guyana has reached 6,358, with total deaths at 164 and recoveries at 5,899. Our country has 295 active cases, with 3 critical. And coming from CNN, the first patient has received the Oxford University AstraZeneca vaccine in what the UK Health Secretary called a real pivotal moment. The US has administered more than 4.2 million vaccine doses, but is lagging behind some other countries as hospitalizations continue to surge following the holidays. And also, India is embarking on one of the world's most ambitious mass immunization programs after regulators approved two vaccines for restricted emergency use. And also, countries around the world have implemented restrictions and travel bans for the UK to contain a new COVID-19 variant first reported in England. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.